everywhere. Get this with the free Odyssey app and try out that rewind feature. My show on your time. Test it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Try not to be out there skidding around doing anything stupid. The rain on and off, and I know that you guys cannot handle it because, no offense to everybody out there, you're miserable drivers. Trying to get me wiped out last night in a rental car, no less. Thank you. Very happy to have you joining us here on the Mark Hoke Show, here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. It's the best in pro wrestling news, entertainment, and some crazy stories that just seem to pop up every once in a while. Oh, another wild week in the world of the squared circle. Let's get the boys in here right now. I'm gonna start from right to left this time. Let's bring him in from ad-free shows. One of the all-time great basketball coaches in high school history. It's just
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, it's not the truth, but it's all good. Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum, what's up?
It's a beautiful Sunday morning. I've got Wrestle Dream coming up. I was out last week, but I got to see John Cena get smashed. It's a good time.
Oh, those words going together. It's unbelievable. A guy who doesn't get smashed very often, I'm sure. Maybe. From the Wrestling Revolver, he is Phil Stamper, everybody. Phil, what's going on?
All the things I want to say right now, and I probably can't say them on air to you. So I'm gonna chill out.
Well, just slightly edit. It's okay. You can blast away. I was banging on Phil pretty hard in our private chat before the show.
Maybe you shouldn't use the word banging.
Possibly. Well, a guy who's just been on vacations all over the place, just got back from Florida. He is from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling in Austin, Texas. Let's bring in the fourth man, Stu Myrick. What's up?
That retired life is pretty good so far. Yeah, just spent a few days in Orlando. Had a lot of fun. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios. That was a lot of fun.
Very nice. Yes, there's a picture of Stu flying around with a lightsaber, and I fear Stu Myrick now.
Absolutely. And it's sitting here. It's at the ready. In case the Empire or the First Order decides to, take up shop around.
Well, Phil is dressed in black over there. He is the president of wrestling. Maybe you should try for Emperor Phil. Maybe you should go for that, the Emperor of Wrestling.
I mean, to be fair, I'm wearing a Tommy Dean shirt. So from Texas. I mean, well, actually, he's from Oklahoma, but he wrestles in Texas, so Stu might be familiar.
Yeah, actually, I am. I wrestles up in Dallas-Fort Worth area, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Up at I think Metroplex.
Yep.
Wrestling up in Bedford in the Metroplex.
Where Revolver was last night.
That's right. Yeah. Congratulations, KJ Orso, the former Fuego del Sol, on winning the Wrestling Revolver Texas Championship.
And I need clarification. I don't think we should call him the former Fuego. I think we're supposed to say he's the man who killed Fuego del Sol.
Sure. All right. Yeah.
Nice.
The fact that he defeated Brick Savage on that one, and Brick Savage is a monster. I've called many of his matches here in Austin for Inspire. That's a big doing. I would suspect there were shenanigans, but hey.
Oh yeah.
But hey, congratulations, KJ.
You can thank
Big day for us in Texas with Ricky Saints winning the NXT World Championship too.
Yeah,
you must be a proud papa, Stu.
The former Ricky Starks, icon in Inspire, former Inspire Pro and Pure Prestige champion, now the NXT champion. We are very proud. So at least as of recently, Ricky still lives here in Austin. In fact, right down the road from me. We're in the kind of the same neighborhood, but we are very proud of Ricky Saints for the brand new NXT champion.
Yeah, maybe you should go put some flowers on his door or something, man.
I'm sure I'll run into him at the grocery store or something. I'll
there
buy
you go.
some milk.
Find some milk. Hey, Ricky, you won the NXT championship. Here's a gallon for you, brother.
I'll buy him a dozen eggs. Also, egg prices have been coming down though, so
yeah.
I'll get him something.
There you go.
He doesn't drink, as far as I know. So,
well, let's since you guys brought it up already, why don't we just start there? Because there were a couple title changes this week that we saw in TNA and NXT, but that first one, the NXT championship, has gone to Ricky Starks as he beats Obafemi, the unbeatable monster. And Ricky is the new NXT champion. It seemed like he'd faded away for a little bit there, and then all of a sudden, wham, he comes back in a big, big way. Coach, I know you're excited about this.
Yeah, man, beat him clean in the middle of the ring. Gave him his ticket to WWE, sent him on his way, and I'm excited for Ricky. Tony Khan didn't use the pencil properly on Ricky. He should have been ascended to the top man in AEW, but he wasn't. But in NXT, he's the champ, and soon enough, he'll be over in WWE doing his thing. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, huge win for Ricky. And like I said, Stu, you had that personal relationship with him. Had to be a happy moment for you to see him win the NXT title.
Yeah, I mean, he was. So when I first started Sports Guys Talking Wrestling in January 2016, the very first independent show I ever went to was at that time it was called Inspire Pro. It was down in Central Austin, and one of the very first people I met was Ricky, and he was the Inspire Pro champion. In fact, he was facing Sammy Guevara that night for that very title, to defend that title. And like I said, I've been lucky enough. I've called a bunch of Ricky's matches in Inspire. I even did during the pandemic. He did this. Because he was a content creator too. So he did a video of him wrestling a broom. It was actually B.room. And he asked me to do the commentary for it. So of course I did it. But yeah, so I've known Ricky for, 10 years practically. And I know how hard he has worked, the ups and downs and everything. And Coach mentioned, the frustrations with his booking AEW. And look, I got to see some of that firsthand because, while then, of course, he still lived in Austin and he would make appearances at Inspire shows and such. And while he wouldn't say anything, you could see it. You could see he was frustrated. So to have him in this moment is a huge validation of his talent. And like I said, we, here in Austin, we just could not be prouder of Ricky and what he has done so far in NXT and what he will do as the NXT champion.
Well, Phil, with a winner, there is a loser. And stunningly, that loser is Obafemi, the monster who just, even though he has not been wrestling very long, had an incredible reign as NXT champion. Mm-hmm. And I would imagine a main roster push is going his way. Where do you see Obafemi going? I got to tell you, man, I think the sky is the limit for him.
And that's exactly where I was going to go. I mean, now that he doesn't have a championship and now that he can move on to the main roster potentially, I think that might actually be the next step. I go back and forth on whether it would be Raw or SmackDown. Like, where would he be the best fit for the moment? And not just the moment, but then for like long-term longevity, where would be the best place? Part of me is like, put him on Raw. Like, I want to see him there and flourish a little bit more, but I don't know if then SmackDown is the better place.
I just want to see that man in a ring with Brock Lesnar. That would be fun. And, and maybe that's the build that they're trying to get for with Brock, is they, of course, had him absolutely destroy John Cena this week or last week at WrestlePalooza. That match, I think, would establish a brand new superstar with Obafemi getting in there and probably getting a win on Brock. So that's my thoughts on it. I say you head that direction, but what do I know, right? I'm just
a little birdie told me, and this is unsubstantiated, that he might fill that Big E role in the New Day coming into WWE.
Wow, that would be interesting.
At least to start.
I would take that any day over facing the alleged participant in a sex trafficking incident involving Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant. I will not mention his name.
Yeah, this is some fascinating stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about that as we go on the show. But since we're staying on title changes, this was an interesting one as well that took place at TNA. I'm sorry, bear with me for a second, guys. Sorry, I lost my notes there. It's coming, I promise. TNA Victory Road, where unfortunately Ash by Elegance vacated the Knockouts Championship. No one has said why yet. Exactly what happened. I don't know if you guys heard anything, but she gave the title up. They had a battle royal to determine the final two participants, and it was Lee Kehlani Jordan from NXT. And just like that, after the TNA Knockouts Championship had been recovered from NXT, it's now back in the hands of NXT as we get ready for this invasion angle. Phil, are you a little surprised that an NXTer got the TNA Knockouts Championship back?
No, I mean, because you don't know what to expect. And that's the biggest thing that I think keeps a lot of people engaged, is the way you toss around the mix of TNA and NXT talent. It's sort of anything can happen at any moment. And that is sort of the expectation built. So it has to go back at times. It has to go one side or the other. And now with this whole invasion angle, I think it could become more contentious in how it's going to feel to us. The fact that Matt Cardona was in the ring, in a WWE ring representing TNA, I mean, that I think has its own series of plots that can come out of.
Yeah, absolutely. Stu, were you surprised to see Matt Cardona showing up in an NXT ring?
A little, but not a whole lot. I mean, all the reports are saying he's working without a contract in TNA. It's a handshake deal, whatever, which, fine. But at the same time, I think, Cardona kind of wanted this, if for no other reason than kind of stake his claim to, rejoin WWE. There's been the talk that he has wanted to. That'll have a fun, little thread within this whole TNA invasion of NXT. We'll see what happens with that. As far as Kehlani Jordan, gaining the Knockouts World Championship, I guess it makes sense, I guess, again, with the invasion. I'll be honest, personally, I'm starting to tire of the whole TNA NXT thing, just because I want to see TNA be TNA, not be NXT whatever, NXT 2 or whatever. We'll see what happens. Bound for Glory should be a, shall we say, turning point, to use another TNA pay-per-view name. Should be a turning point in this. Especially I think it's still booked that Mike Santana is going to wrestle Trick Williams for the TNA World Title. So I guess let's see how it plays out and hope it turns out to be fun.
Coach, do you trust this invasion angle? Do you think it's going to work?
I do. I think Kehlani winning it is just going to be the first brick that TNA breaks in the invasion when Indy beats her at Bound for Glory. I think it's going to be a big celebration that the TNA got the title back on their big pay-per-view, and it's going to be like the first punch in the wall of the invasion, and it's just going to keep going from there.
Yeah, and I do think it's going to be very interesting to see where Matt Cardona goes with this. Of course, for those that remember, he used to be Zack Ryder in WWE and let him go, and then he just took over the independent scene, has really been the top independent wrestler in the country. But of course, his heart yearns to go back, Phil. I mean, he wants to be there, and his wife's there, and I'm sure that while he's been very happy doing what he's been doing and making a lot of money, you got to know that he wants another shot at WWE. And do you think they'd handle him right? That's another interesting question too. I don't want to see woo woo woo.
Handling right is subjective, especially the WWE. I mean, we have said on the show, and we've talked about, when it comes to the production of professional wrestling, nobody does it better than the WWE. When it comes to the storyline progression of things, WWE isn't always knocking it out of the park. Demolition style Killer Cross, and that's being nice to what it looked like they were trying to do. So it doesn't always work. It doesn't always go as planned. It doesn't. Sometimes it's like, this is the greatest thing, even when it does look like it's going to be the greatest thing ever, and then it just doesn't work for whatever reason. So I think there's a lot of moving parts, and I always love seeing what happens in the future, but it's the journey to get there that's sometimes painful.
I just thought of something too. How much fun would it be for John Cena's last match to be against the death match indie star king Matt Cardona? Would you think that John's last match against Cardona, and Matt getting the rub on that would be all right? I would be happy.
I'd be cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
Something that has popped up, and I actually thought about it this morning, and kind of goes to what Phil was saying. WWE, it feels a little like, it's not full blown, but it feels like kind of in the 2010s. Remember, WWE kind of got lazy with their booking because they were the only game in town, only ones on TV, so they kind of just did what they wanted. And I will point to last week with John Cena getting decimated by the alleged participant in a sex trafficking incident. It feels a little like that. It hadn't gone full blown, but it feels a little like it.
It's like the herpes in remission.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing this week too.
Not about the herpes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a little bit sloppy. We're going to get to that later in the show too. But we're going to come back, and when we return, we're going to talk about that guy that's Stu will not name like Voldemort, because there's a lot of outcry about what's going on with Brock Lesnar, and let's dig into this a little bit, because there's I was just reading that lawsuit again this morning. Oh boy, it's quality entertainment. But stick around, we got a whole lot more. Phil Stamper, Stu Myrick, Coach Rosey, when we come back.
Do you know probate taxes are one of the biggest financial risks your family can ever face? Without a trust, your estate could lose thousands, even millions of dollars. Even a legendary music icon's family paid over $10 million in probate costs. The good news? You can protect your legacy with a revocable trust. DuMont Financial makes it simple. Call 702-871-0777 today for a free trust review. That's 702-871-0777. DuMont Financial, your shield against probate.
Helps stock our shelves. Filling our shelves to feed Southern Nevada means that every dollar you give through 3 Square Food Bank provides up to 3 meals for someone in need. As 1 in 6 Southern Nevadans faces hunger, our strategic food sourcing maximizes the impact of your gift. With compounding challenges of inflation, soaring grocery prices, federal food reductions, and increased demand from families in our community, the need is growing. We need your help. Donate to 3 Square today. Visit stockourshelves.org.
For the first time ever, you can get all of ESPN in the new ESPN app, along with Disney Plus and Hulu, with one incredible offer. The most live sports, biggest blockbusters, and most talked about shows. Get it all in one bundle for $29.99 a month for 12 months. Visit Disney Plus Hulu ESPNBundle.com for details. Ad-supported plan auto renews at regular price. Currently $35.99 a month, subject to change. Unless canceled. Ends 1/5/26. Terms apply.
Dude, did you order
The new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever. With eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit biglou.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-1509. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-1509 or biglou.com.
1015 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Man, I'm just clicking stuff. It's bad. It's very, very bad. At least on the live stream. You can't see it on the radio on KDAWN here, but if you're on our live stream on X, YouTube, or Facebook at Mark Hoke Show and the Mark Hoke Show, you would see that I'm just being a complete clod, but that's all right. It happens. Coach Rosey from adfreeshows.com with us. Phil Stamper from the Wrestling Revolver. Or do I have to say the? Is that the proper way to do it?
Ye is the appropriate, but you can just say Wrestling Revolver.
Now you lectured me on that I have to say the.
I said you couldn't say Pro Wrestling Revolver.
Now I'm gonna have to dig that up. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, also with us today. So, we mentioned about John Cena getting absolutely atom smashed at WrestlePalooza. I know you guys didn't really get a shot to talk about this, but first, John Cena getting destroyed by Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. Phil, good idea, bad idea? Because I'll tell you what, it sure put a damper on the show.
I was going to say none of it rings like it was the right step to do. I understand sort of in the ebb and flow of a story. Okay, now he's down. He needs to fight back from under to get the big pop at the end. Okay, great. But it feels like this back half of the retirement tour is gonna be a big fizzle. It feels like it's lost a lot of its luster. Some of it has to do with who they put him up against at that pay-per-view, or excuse me, premium live event. And so I want to see where they go next, because next might be against AJ Styles, who has also announced his retirement at potentially WrestleMania 2026. So I'm interested in seeing what sort of comes together.
Stu, I just don't know what they're doing with this retirement tour with John. This has been, I'm sorry, and I feel bad for John, because this thing has just been butchered beyond belief.
You're absolutely right. Look, this starts with The Rock sticking his nose into creative.
And Nick Khan, don't forget. Nick Khan was a big part of that too.
John Cena heel turn, which was a horrible idea. John Cena, he did the best he could, but he hadn't been a heel in forever. And especially this kind of a heel trying to ruin wrestling, and the fans are toxic. It was not good viewing. So then you turn babyface with a promo. And I thought maybe they were going to try to save it, and then lo and behold, this match at WrestlePalooza, I will slightly disagree with Phil. I don't want to see what's going forward, because I think that was a stupid idea. have him. I mean, yes, you have him lose his retirement match because that's tradition in pro wrestling. But leading to it, why? What purpose did it serve for John Cena to be not only lose, but lose in a beat down by the alleged participant in a sex trafficking incident? It serves no purpose. If you read the reports, he's not even supposed to be on television until maybe Royal Rumble, which that also makes me afraid, makes me not want to watch the Royal Rumble, besides the fact it's going to be in Saudi. But what purpose did it serve by John Cena taking a loss there? It's a retirement tour. I mean, it's
supposed to be fun.
Yes, it's supposed to be fun.
This should be fun. That wasn't fun.
And look, Hiroshi Tanahashi's doing his retirement tour in New Japan. Yes, he's taking a few losses. His body's probably a lot more beat up than John Cena's. So, yeah, he can't go like he used to. I can see that. Plus, Tanahashi's the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, of course, he wants to uplift younger wrestlers. Okay, that makes sense. But John Cena, this is the guy that basically saved your company for the better part of a decade. It makes no sense. I don't get what they're doing. I do not want to see the alleged participant in a sex trafficking ring anymore on my television, quite frankly. And if he's on the television, I may switch the channel. If it's on a Saturday and Sunday, guess what? I got college football to watch. I'm watching the NFL right now. Pittsburgh up 14-6 on Minnesota in the third quarter in Ireland. I can watch football. I can watch, whatever. I'm a sports fan. I do a little bit of sports radio with Texas Sports Unfiltered. So, I don't want to see him on my screen. I definitely didn't want to see him beat John Cena like he did.
So other than the other stuff happened, did you like to play Mrs. Lincoln? Coach Rosey. This whole thing with Brock Lesnar is very interesting. And I took the time to go back and read the lawsuit again. There's about 3 pages about Brock in there. And, I don't want to sound like I'm putting down Janelle Grant, because a lot of the things that are alleged in this lawsuit that happen are pretty heinous. Vince McMahon is a freak. But it's very weird when I read through the Brock Lesnar section, because he was involved in this, but it almost sounds like Vince was trying to make this weird thing happen, and getting her involved and him involved, and putting it in a contract negotiation. Coach, this thing with Brock, and I will say too that WWE feels that they're safe to bring him back, but it's bizarre, man. It's bizarre, and just reading over this, don't know 100% what to think of who's really, really at fault in here, except for Vince.
Yeah, in America, you're innocent until proven guilty, and if all those allegations are true, send them away for a long time. But that really is only one side of the story. So the truth will eventually come out in court. But I think this was completely ESPN. I think ESPN wanted to get as many subscribers as possible, looking for that UFC crossover, because to us, it doesn't make sense that Brock Lesnar is fighting. To the people that love wrestling, it's a slap in the face. But the people that are on a Saturday night that are flipping through ESPN and seeing that Brock Lesnar is making his comeback, that's $30 for ESPN. So I think that was the main push here. I don't know, but for him not to come back in so long is an indication to me that he was just the carrot to try to get as many pay-per-view buys as possible, and maybe that'll backfire. Only time will tell.
Yeah, and that will be interesting to see if it backfires, Phil. And I think one thing that was very interesting about how the WrestlePalooza card played out, we didn't really, you guys weren't here last week, so we didn't get to talk about it too much, but they moved that match to the opening match, I would assume, because they figured there was going to be some sort of crossover between AEW All Out and WrestlePalooza. So somehow in their minds, they got an idea that, maybe people will stop watching All Out, will kill the end of their show, and people will come over and watch Brock and John. And it appears it did not work out that way. But just this whole thing is odd. And now they're even seeing, by the way, that Brock's not going to be back on TV for months.
Yeah. So the whole landscape of this is just odd in the first place. Now, this was the first ESPN Plus premium event. I found out the week before that with all the changing price tiers, that even though I have ESPN Plus, I can't get either football or WWE unless now I pay for a higher level tier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, wait a minute, what's happening? And I didn't realize the wrestling run until the day of WrestlePalooza, because I was at an event and like, oh, let me turn it on and see what's going on. Oh, I can't. Oh, that's interesting. But I even remember when they signed the Raw deal with Netflix, I thought that they were going to be turning PLEs over to Netflix. So I feel like, what else did they work behind the scenes to make that arrangement sort of like, okay, we're going to set this on this side, even though Netflix is now their international distributor. So I feel like if they did some kind of card play to move things around, I can't remember the card game. I'm thinking of like 3 different card games. The where you
probably 3-card Monty is where you're.
Thank you. That was where my brain was going. That Netflix probably has to come away smelling pretty rosy. I think the reality is too that TKO is going, this is a different product than UFC. We think because of its pop culture relevance, we can up the cost of everything and outprice families. But then at the same time, they're not looking at what the content is to realize, like, are we making smart business decisions for the long term of the company? I think we're going to see eventually. I don't think right away, because they're going to try to cover what they can. They are going to have to start moving into smaller venues because their crowd is going to go down, keep up their levels of production. But what they did at first, I didn't think of it that way, that they were trying to draw attention in from the AEW pay-per-view by moving John Cena and Brock Lesnar into the first match. I really thought that it was, the way this is going to end, which was bad, and the whole match was bad, that it's just the rhythm of the show. You have this low point, and then you build throughout the show to give a roller coaster ride back up to the main event, and people walk away happy. Maybe, but
which they did not.
Right. So that didn't work either.
It put a damper on the whole show. It really did. It didn't work. And Stu, the attempt to do this counter programming and pull the attention away from AEW did not work. And some of it, I'm sure, was with the switch to ESPN, the people were frustrated about that. But honestly, if you're going to plunk your money down, am I going to watch an event that has 13 matches on it with a lot of quality action, or am I going to watch a 5-match card, even though there may be a little more star power on it? And, you note that we haven't seen everybody saying, oh, WrestlePalooza had this and these numbers and that. We haven't heard that from them, Stu.
So I saw a couple reports that are saying the reason that match got moved up to the beginning of the card is because the alleged participant in a sex trafficking incident wanted to get out of Indianapolis early. Take that for what it's worth. I was actually tracking it. WrestlePalooza started right about the time that you were seeing the Young Bucks and Jack Perry and the reunion of Jurassic Express. So, Jungle Boy Jack Perry shows up. Guess what? I'm not switching because we haven't seen Jack Perry on AEW in quite some time. And all of a sudden he shows up and, he gets at the Young Bucks. They have him at a, bad place, and then lights go out and there's Luchasaurus. So, like I said, the reunion of Jurassic Express. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, the main event, so Hangman and Kyle Fletcher, I think that started right before John Cena's match.
Yeah, it was pretty close. So it was pretty close.
The other thing is, the way we're talking about it makes it sound like, yeah, I'm going to flip on ESPN. Let's not forget, I have to open the app and find WrestlePalooza on the app on a Saturday, which is also college football. And oh, by the way, I was also looking. In fact, I was watching WrestlePalooza alongside Texas and Sam Houston State. So because it happened around, that game kicked off about an hour after WrestlePalooza started. Now, look, I got the ESPN app because I'm a college football fan. So, and I love, you can watch them, the multi-view of the games and everything. So I got that as well as the WWE content. If that was ESPN's attempt to try to draw subscribers, I don't think it worked. And then on top of the fact they tried to put it up against a really good AEW All Out that had some great storyline movement, had some fantastic action. I don't know what ESPN and WWE were thinking. Whatever they were thinking, it didn't work.
No, and I certainly hope that this counter programming thing that they're going to start to realize that it is not the way to go. Is just it's bad for the fans. It's bad for it's bad for WWE. They've lost on this. They, honest to God, they thought they were going to have AEW take a hit, and they did not. The pay-per-view numbers came in. They were about the same as AEW Revolution. It had zero impact on AEW viewership.
Tony
None.
Khan's talking about keeping his pay-per-views and in the afternoon.
Coach, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think you're staying away from all the evening primetime programming, especially on when you've got a lot of sports going on, and it's good watching wrestling in the afternoon. And I know all media.
Plus, all these AEW pay-per-views are like 4.5 or 5 hours long. I mean, I love wrestling, but I didn't watch WrestlePalooza at all because I was exhausted after AEW. So if Tony goes first, he gets the viewers, he gets the internet wrestling community. They might not switch over to WWE because it's a long day. And plus, we got enough single guys in the wrestling community. If you have early shows, they might be able to take a girl out on a date at night instead of sitting in their basement watching wrestling on Friday or Saturday night. For everybody.
And he only has to weather two more months for college football, because by the time the December pay-per-view rolls around, you're actually on the tail end of bowl season, getting ready for the college football playoffs. So 2 months of dealing with college football, and then the rest of the time, hey, there you go.
Yeah, the games that people are playing right now, and they are dangerous. Let's take a break, and when we come back, did we have a rebellion at ESPN? Poor Andreas Hale. Oh my God, this guy got destroyed by people because he told the truth. Stick around, everybody. We got a whole lot more. Coach Rosey from Ad Free Shows, Phil Stamper from the Wrestling Revolver, Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Stick around on the Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back.
Hey, Sean Hannity here with the only real estate team in your market that I recommend. I'm talking about the Brankest team of Keller Williams Realty, the Marketplace. Now, thanks for joining me today. And what do you tell someone that wants to rent a home instead of selling it?
Well, Sean, they should always gather all the facts and consider all the options. Sometimes renting the home is the right decision. And sometimes, especially after repainting, replacing landscaping and flooring, sometimes it's better to sell when the home's at peak condition. That's when they're going to get the highest price. I suggest we meet. This way we can discuss all the options. And remember, I do this free of charge. This way they can get all the facts and make a good informed decision.
All right. Thanks for keeping us up to date. Call the Brankest team today at 702-456-5959, online at thebrankestteam.com. That's thebrankestteam.com.
License number BS 16186. Call for details. I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays are for football. That's why we're here to help you get your next DIY project done, even when the clock isn't on your side. Whether that's a new Filtrete filter or Bosch and Cobalt power tools, Lowe's has everything you need to feel like the MVP of DIY. So get it done and earn your Sunday. Shop now, in-store and online. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan during halftime or overtime. From spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
1015 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Hey, I got the pointing right. You guys see that? Are you proud of me? I was pointing at everybody on the live stream, kind of like a Brady Bunch thing. I nailed it. Finally. It only took, a year? Thanks.
It's those little battles, Mark.
It is, man. It is. Well, very happy to have you back with us on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming on the Odyssey app. If you don't have the Odyssey app, AUDACY, go get it right now. And I promise you that these clouds will disappear in Las Vegas. That's it. Sometime. But get that app. You can hear all the great shows on KDAWN, like the Steve Sanchez show that I produced during the week and many others. And from all over the Odyssey universe of 220 stations and more. So get that Odyssey app right now. We're also streaming live on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Our good friend Scoop is in here. He says, gentlemen, which means we say, Scoop. Very happy to have you with us, sir. And I also want to make sure to remind everybody, if you didn't see the WrestleMania ticket prices, oh, baby. Oh, get ready to dig into your wallet because the most inexpensive seat, and I say that loosely, for a 2-day package is almost $900, which means you're going to need to save some money on your hotels so you can actually enjoy the week. And I would highly suggest you go to the travelshark.com/Hoke Show. Get those. It's powered by Priceline. You get all those employee prices, the mystery prices without having to guess, or to God, you get a decent hotel. Right now, a lot of the downtown hotels are about $75 to $80 a night. You've got Circus, that great kids place. They're in the 80s right now on Travel Shark. Just running down through here. Harrah's is under 100, and don't expect those prices to get too much lower. So go book your rooms for WrestleMania right now at thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show. Be glad you did, promise. All right, guys, the rebellion that happened at ESPN. And I felt so bad for Andreas Hale, who does a lot of the reviews for ESPN of professional wrestling. Andreas gave WrestlePalooza a C. A fair assessment, I thought. Between the people that said that you're just dead wrong and the people that said, how could you do that? You're working for ESPN and you're partnered with WWE and you're giving the show a bad review. What are you doing? Andreas was defending himself all week, and in fact, he put a video out that said he just can't believe that he's even talking about this right now. It's ridiculous. That's how I saw the show. Phil, are you surprised that Andreas actually had the courage to give WrestlePalooza a C, and that he deserved the heat that he got for it?
I don't think he deserved the heat, because if they're critiquing all of their other sports entities that are on ESPN, why can't there be an opinion about a WWE event, even if it is on WWE programming? And WWE isn't, on the ESPN programming. WWE isn't owned by ESPN. It is just their distribution network for their PLEs. So it's be critical if you want to be critical. Now, of course, are there other voices? Should there have been a counter voice? Maybe, I don't know. But then that means you better have counter voices for all of your programming. And I know football, there's plenty of talking heads. But for other content on ESPN, they don't always have that. So it's, unless you rebalance that out, so you're getting different perspectives, you're going to get what you're going to get from one person's perspective.
Yeah, Coach, I give him credit. I mean, he was very honest about his assessment of the card. It was, it was meh. Just the way it turned out. And it's unbelievable to think that people were tearing him apart for giving a bad review because of who he was working for, as opposed to actually looking at what happened that night.
What's First Take in the morning? Those guys rip people all the time. I didn't hear anything from ESPN or WWE. All I kept hearing was from the internet wrestling community. Sometimes controversy creates cash. I heard somebody say that once. I think his name was Eric Bischoff.
I've heard of that.
Opinions are, they come a dime a dozen. That's the way that guy felt. And you know what? He was right. So why fault somebody for sharing their opinion? And who knows? Maybe it'll even draw more eyes. Oh, you think the C rating? Maybe it'll up WWE's game, because maybe they want that A rating because, to try to draw more viewers. I had no problem with it. I don't think ESPN had a problem with it. I don't think WWE had a problem with it, because if they did, that man would be working for Pro Wrestling Illustrated right now and not ESPN. They would have disciplined him. They would have fired him. They would have done something, but they didn't, and this poor guy who's a journalist was attacked for his opinion, which is not the way we do things in America.
Yeah, Stu, apparently WWE was shocked when they saw the review. I did hear that they, but I think Coach Rosey brings up a good point. Maybe when they see that, they go, maybe that show wasn't as good as we thought it was.
I'm not going to hold my breath on WWE changing their ways just because of a mediocre review on ESPN. Look, first of all, the fact the internet wrestling community attacked this guy does not surprise me, because we all know the internet wrestling community basically are crazy, and they don't have any type of sensible thought. As far as the critique itself, Phil's right. Look, ESPN also covers college football, the NFL. They're about to, the NBA now. They're about to get the Inside the NBA show with the NBA season starting. Major League Baseball. They've got all sorts of entities. And guess what? Not every game is a, to quote, a 5-star or whatever. There's quite a few games that are duds. And you're right. They have all the shows. You mentioned First Take. Look, I've met Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith just has it out for the Cowboys. He's like one of the most hated men in Dallas. But who cares? This critic, and look, I worked for an ESPN radio affiliate back in the day. I have friends that work in ESPN radio. Kyatt Myers, good friend of mine out of Las Vegas, actually. Look, it's silly. I don't think that ESPN is used to what we see from the internet wrestling community whenever a review comes out. It's not like coming from, say, Wrestling Observer or Fightful or anything like that. It's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, WWE. Yeah, Coach Rosey's out of here. Coach, real quick, ad-free shows. Tell us about it. About 10 seconds.
Yeah, Top Guy Weekend's coming up. We'll be in St. Louis in Wrestling Weekend, so join us.
Going to be fun. Thanks for joining us, Coach. We'll be back with a whole lot more from the world of pro wrestling with Stu Myrick, Phil Stamper, and little old me, Mark Hoke, here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. So stick around. Whole lot more coming, and hop into that chat box, guys. We'd love to hear from you at Mark Hoke Show on X and the Mark Hoke Show on YouTube and Facebook. We will be right back with hour number 2 in just a little bit. Stick around.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Fall is coming, which means this is the moment to plant in your yard, just like the Sanchez family. I'm telling you, Moon Valley Nurseries has you covered. They're the growers. They literally grow the trees, plants, shrubs on their own farms. So they're already ready for your yard. You pick it, they design it, they plant it, you just enjoy it. I mean, why wait? Thousands of trees are ready right now. Call Moon Valley Nurseries or visit the Moon Valley Nursery near you today.
Welcome to Yoga for Beginners, where we say yes to less stress and no to auto loan payments.
What? Say yes to less stress with One Nevada Credit Union's 90-day no-pay. Finance your new or used car with us, or move your current auto loan and don't make any payments for 90 days. That could be close to $4,000 in your pocket. Say no to payments and yes to less stress with One Nevada Credit Union's 90-day no-pay auto loans. Visit onenevada.org today. Federally insured by NCUA.
Making money isn't all that hard, but keeping it is tough. It's why I like having a One Nevada One checking rewards account. All I had to do was set up direct deposit with my job, and boom, I get paid 2 days early, just in time for the weekend. And when I do have to spend, I just make sure it's with my One Nevada debit card, and I get cash back. So get your money sooner and keep more of it with a One Nevada One checking rewards account.
Visit onenevada.org to learn more and open a One checking rewards account.
Our one focus is you.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, I'm Sherry, owner of LifeSource Water. Here in Vegas, undrinkable, harsh tap water is a way of life, but it doesn't have to be. Our whole house water system is the home appliance you'll love using every day. LifeSource builds every system, installs it, and offers factory direct pricing. Now we are offering a double dip in savings. Free basic installation plus an extra $250 off. That's up to $1,200 in savings. Call our factory at 1-800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com. Hurry, offer ends September 30.
Warranty limitations apply.
Lowe's knows how to get you ready for holiday hosting with up to 35% off select home decor. And get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, members get free delivery, haul away, basic installation, parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select LG major appliances. Valid through 10/1. Member offer excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and Florida. Installed by independent contractors. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8 year old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
KMXB HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas, 101.5 FM KDAWN. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Melda shoes away. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. Tropical storm alerts are up for the southeast U.S.
as a tropical depression is on its way to becoming Hurricane Imelda. Fox Weather's Britta Merwin has the latest.
Budding hurricane. Right now, a tropical depression. Tropical storm watches are out for Florida, so Floridians look out for some rough beach conditions. The good news is we're no longer calling for a direct landfall. There was a lot of options open yesterday, and now the computer models all agree that this will stay offshore. Timeline, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We have a Category 1 Hurricane Imelda right offshore. Outer rain bands are going to produce a flood threat for coastal areas of the Carolinas. Again, potential that those watches might be upgraded to a tropical storm warning across Florida's Space Coast.
The current forecast cone has Imelda turning sharply away from the coast early Tuesday. Meanwhile, Hurricane Umberto has weakened a little bit with winds 150 miles an hour. That would make it a strong Category 4 storm. Charges have been filed against the man police say opened fire on a crowded riverfront night spot in South Point, North Carolina last night. 3 people killed, several others hurt. Witnesses say the gunman pulled up on a boat, started shooting, and then took off. About 30 minutes later, the Coast Guard spotted someone matching the suspect's description, loading a boat at a nearby public ramp. Police identify him as 39-year-old Nigel Edge. He faces 3 counts of first-degree murder, 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. Police say the shooting was highly premeditated and the location was targeted. Deputies are still searching for people who are still missing after severe flash flooding ravaged central Arizona, killing at least 4 people. Officials say floodwaters reached nearly 8 feet in some areas on Friday near Phoenix. The city's weather service says it was the 4th wettest day in recorded history there since 2004. United Nations has reimposed sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program after last-minute diplomacy failed, freezing Iranian assets and penalizing its missile program. America is listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
Get your daily dose of news with a Fox News Rundown. A contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Going far beyond the headlines. Tomorrow morning at 5 on 101.5 FM KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Oh my God, I am just messing up right and left. There we go. I need a producer. This is just pathetic. Mark Hoke, happy to have you with us on the Mark Hoke Show here, Sunday morning in Las Vegas on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Also on that Odyssey app. Get it now, and Phil Stamper will grow hair. We'll be thrilled to hear that. So every one of you that gets the Odyssey app will get one hair coming out of Phil's head.
Phil, I don't know what that word. I do still have hair up there though. So
okay, all right, just checking. It's very shiny, very shiny. I spared Stu Myrick from that. I'll get you next time, Stu. I promise.
By the way, studio producer is one of the very few roles I never did in radio.
Really?
I was an on-site producer a lot. I did on-site engineer producer for a lot of remotes, a lot of high school football, a lot of our pregame, postgame for the Longhorns and such, but I was never a studio producer.
Oh, fly on out here, Stu. We'll give you a job.
That's okay. I'm retired, and I like living in Austin.
Well, just to visit, have a good time.
We'll see.
All right, fair enough. But we are talking the best in pro wrestling here on the show. Before we get into the pro wrestling real quick, I do want to just say real quick, because I'm sure we picked up some new viewers from some stuff that happened this week at the Clark County School District meeting. As well, I spoke up for my daughter, and it was a pretty impassioned meeting on Thursday night. And want to thank all the people that came up and talked to us afterward, and including the superintendent, the deputy superintendent, and the Clark County School District police chief, who pulled us aside for a meeting after the meeting was over. Had a very productive talk with them. So, so some of the people that I met out there, if you're tuning in for the first time, thank you. Appreciate it. It was an interesting night on Thursday night in the meeting for the 5th biggest school district in the country. So thank you for everything everybody did, especially for my daughter. Much appreciated. All right, Stu, guys, we were talking about the situation with John Cena's retirement tour. There's only 2 dates left John has scheduled. That's it, if you can believe it. And what are they going to do? I mean, he's going to be wrestling in AJ Styles in Perth coming up in October. And then 2 more and we're done. That's all. That's it.
I thought it was at least 3, because he's got the dates at TD Garden in Boston, MSG New York, and then December, which is allegedly Saturday night's main event. That'll be his retirement match.
I had a list and only had a couple left, but maybe there's a couple more. But even if it's 3,
it's still it's down to the final. Getting close to the final.
What do you guys want to see out of this at this point? You're trying to tell a story, but this story has come out of 7 different books. What's left to do? What do we do with John Cena?
Honestly, just do the greatest hits. Fine. You got the match with AJ Styles in Perth at Crown Jewel. That'll be a good one. Plus, you just mentioned you mentioned earlier AJ Styles saying he's probably going to retire after WrestleMania, which that'll be a big one as well. You think of his career, and just incredible. But honestly, there shouldn't be a story. It should be John Cena's greatest hits. I mean, and find the rivals, that you can get, which I talked about the internet wrestling community having no sense sometimes. All you got to do is look at how everybody reacted it was on Dynamite. They showed the interaction between Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, where Copeland saying, "I've got to go home to check on Beth, and I don't know if I'm coming back." All of a sudden, everybody thinks he's going to WWE.
Right.
He's still got 2 years left on his AEW contract.
Yeah,
he can't go to WWE, and everybody's already booking. It was going to be John Cena and Edge at I guess it's Saturday night's main event, I guess, or whatever. And it's like, come on, people. Use a little sense, please, for the love of God.
He's filming his Percy Jackson show.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing, guys.
Yeah, the Percy Jackson thing. So it was just, so I would say find those rivals that that he had great runs with, that you can get besides the alleged participant in a sex trafficking incident. And just play the greatest hits. And then the final match, I would say find I don't know if you'd say younger guy, but find a guy that's, that needs the rub of a John Cena victory over John Cena.
Phil, what do you think? What do they do with this?
I have a feeling they're not going to give him the rub. Like, it's going to be like he's going to wrestle Randy Orton. Oh, he's giving the young guy the rub. Like, I feel like that's what a WWE would do, because that's been their mentality lately, is what it feels like. I don't see them going like Ludwig Kaiser, come on up. face John Cena, he's going to give you this great polished rub. Chad Gable, come on up. John Cena is going to give you this great polished rub. I just do not see it in how WWE books. Now, who does that mean that he would wrestle? It might actually be Randy Orton, as I say it, because there's longevity and they've both been around for a minute. They probably have good associations with each other. So I'm curious. I am curious, what it'll be. I've heard the disappointment. I'm using air quotes in that. That his retirement match is going to be in Washington D.C. because D.C. outbid it compared to other cities, compared to Boston. And I was like, it's WWE. Like, hey John, here's another $100,000. Come to Boston and have a thing with somebody, even if it's not a match. Have a physical altercation with somebody. Like, I think they would get away with it and be okay.
Yeah, what would be fun if they can jam it? There's a TV. They would jam a TV date in here between. Well, actually, you would do it with AJ Styles. How much fun would it be for AJ Styles to take the Intercontinental Championship off Dominic Mysterio in these next 2 weeks and have John take on AJ for the Intercontinental Championship and win it? That would be fun. That completes John's Grand Slam, right? And then, you could head into another TV date. You got Survivor Series, Saturday night's main event. He could hold on to the IC title until that last match, and somebody else get the rub off that. Survivor Series, I have a feeling that they're probably going to put him in a 5-on-5 match just so he can get to wrestle with a bunch of people. That would make sense to me, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm just so frustrated with this, just how this has gone, and there's sadness in my voice.
I agree. And I go back to what I was saying earlier about it. It's starting to feel, now I'm not saying it's gone full blown or anything, but it is starting to feel like WWE, Triple H, Nick Khan, whatever, they feel like, okay, we're top. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I said, that's what they fell into in the 2010s. And it was very mediocre at best, but you didn't have anything going. Right now. Yeah. You got AEW, you got TNA, even, let's even go as far as Major League Wrestling or New Japan or, the NWA. There's a little more competition out there where, people that get frustrated with WWE. Oh, and by the way, as I say towards the end of my show every week, go out and support independent wrestling. Go see your favorite indie, whether it's Wrestling Revolver, whether it's Inspire Victorious, the Rhodes Wrestling Association, by the way, had our last week's show on YouTube right now. The Outrunners from AEW facing Wayne and Wyatt, the Rhodes brothers, the nephews of Dustin Rhodes. Go out and support independent wrestling and find your love of wrestling there as well.
I think we've talked about on this show, like right now, the way WWE and AEW is structured, there really isn't a way to get a young audience into professional wrestling. Independent wrestling is the way you get families and you get kids into wrestling and watch the product. That it just is.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Well, one guy who was talking about the state of wrestling was Santino Marella, who stated that if TNA finally gets their TV deal, they will become the number 2 promotion in professional wrestling. And I have respect for the dude, but there's no way. Maybe way down the road. But AEW is a lock for number 2 at this point. And quite frankly, TNA is under WWE's thumb. And I will not be surprised if at some point that TNA is not completely under the WWE banner. My feelings about it, Phil, what do you think about that? If TNA gets a deal, are they number 2?
No. Yes and no. Like, I want to say yes and no to this. Like, I've sat on this program and said in 2020 during the pandemic, TNA had the best quality wrestling matches compared to any of them. They really did. They hurt because they aren't the production vehicle that the others are. They don't have an in-house production team. They every show they bring in people from the outside. So it's you have to raise up what you visibly look like as well. Plus, where are they going to land? They're not going to end up on a station with more coverage than WWE. Okay, great. Well, and right now WWE's everywhere. So does that mean they're going to get on a station that has more views than what an AEW has on a TBS and TNT? Like, okay, where else is there that you can land that's a general network property that would get enough eyes? I think that's the turning point. If you can get enough eyes, dazzle up the product just this much more, I think then you might be in the sphere of being able to talk about it. My worry, and this is a worry, this is not a criticism of TNA, it's just the quality of how some of the shows come off. It's sort of like when I look at some regional wrestling products that are on television and they lack that polish or panache, they're missing some of the production elements, and the sound sounds hollow, like the rooms that they're in, there's a crowd, you can hear the crowd, they're cheering, but then there's like almost like this hollowness in the background of the sound. I picked that up and I'm like, this shows to me it's not high quality. And I feel like TNA needs to do something else to step up. And then, yes, they could compete at that level. I think they have a fight if they do those, but that requires money, and TNA is stingy.
You know, Stu, I almost feel like, I mean, I know they're getting an interesting rub from WWE, but I almost feel like they'd have been better off if they'd have stayed on their own. They were rolling. They were absolutely rolling. And I feel like it almost takes away some of the appeal of TNA because of the fact that, it's, just becoming a half WWE product instead of it being the little engine that could. Now it's the little engine that got hooked up to the big engine that's getting dragged down the track.
I agree. It's kind of what I was trying to say earlier, and may not have come out right, but I do question how much of a rub that TNA gets from this interaction with NXT. Let's not and let's be clear about this. It's TNA and NXT. They're not showing up on Raw. They're not showing up on SmackDown. Santino Marella, he's talking up the home team. I mean, come on. We see that, Dak Prescott thinks Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. They're not, but that's it's the same thing.
Blasphemy.
How'd that Bears game go, by the way?
Hey,
I'm not even
you're promoting the Odyssey app, the flagship radio station for the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan up in Dallas. They're in Odyssey. Check them out after tonight, after the Cowboys Packers. You'll get to hear a lot of it.
Nice.
But it's one of those, I wonder what kind of rub they get. I'm with you. I think I agree with Phil. They need to up the production. You mentioned about bringing in production folks from the outside. I can remember vividly when they would come, say they would work Gillies in Dallas. They brought in a guy by the name of Luke Hawkins, who is a fantastic at producing wrestling. He does it for Inspire, does it for several promotions. They brought him in to do the kind of the production for Impact there, or in TNA, or it was Impact at the time. So I see that. And yes, they need to upgrade a lot of that stuff. Yes, you're also right. Anthem Sports Entertainment is stingy. So they're going to, they're keeping them on Access TV, which has, not the greatest clearance on systems. I don't get it on YouTube TV. The other thing is, if they find a new TV home, does that TV home come with it a streaming option? That's what's helping AEW, is the fact that now they're on HBO Max. So they've got to find a TV home that may have, whether it's, if you go, someone, the CBS, Viacom, whatever, where you can get on Paramount Plus or whatever. That's the thing. But look, I applaud Santino for, again, propping up the home team, but yeah, AEW is definitely number 2 at this point.
Well, and here's the thing again too. If let's say WWE helps them find a home, like maybe they get them on A&E or something like that. Well, once again, it gives the perception that TNA is a slave to WWE, and like I said, and I kind of think that they've hurt themselves doing this because they have taken away the feel of, okay, things didn't work out in WWE or things didn't work out in AEW. I can still go to TNA. I can still succeed, like Naomi did, just to pick one name out.
Mm-hmm.
And so many others that have kind of regrouped their careers in TNA. Well, how's a WWE superstar going to, if they get released, go back to TNA? Because you're practically under the same umbrella. I mean, I know technically you are not, but WWE, if they didn't like you, they're going to go to TNA and say, we didn't like this guy. Don't push him. It's just put TNA in a weird spot. And I'm working on getting an interview with Carlos Silva because I would love to talk to him about this. But I just feel like that they've put themselves in a very weird position that I don't know if in the end it's going to pay off.
Yeah, I agree. It's not again, it's this whole homogenizing of NXT and TNA to where, now I'm seeing as many NXT wrestlers on TNA and as many TNA wrestlers on NXT. It's starting to look the same.
Mm-hmm.
Just basically a change of venue, but that's about it. And it gets to where, okay, well, I don't want to watch NXT, NXTNA or whatever, it's just not it. Yeah, I know. It's not that attractive of a viewing experience.
You're having the invasion angle, but you're all working together.
Yeah.
If they would have decided, hey, you know what, and they didn't have this association and said, you know what, TNA, let's do this. Occasionally sneak a person in here and then we'll do something joint for 6 months and make it a real invasion. It's just like, it's part of the reason that the invasion angle failed with WCW going into WWE when WCW went under, because WWE owned WCW at that point. So how are you invading something when you're part of it?
That, and they didn't have the big stars from WCW like Sting or Flair. That was another problem. And yes, that's kind of why I'm not really trusting this whole invasion thing, just because, there's been the talk about Joe Hendry. He's probably going to jump to WWE when his TNA contract expires. It's like, okay, well, why, if I'm not a fan of NXT, why am I going to watch TNA with a bunch of NXT wrestlers?
And buying a scoop in the chat box, by the way, brings up statement says, I feel the initial AEW partnership spoiled a lot of TNA fans after their fiasco. It's an interesting thought, Phil.
Well, it's funny because there's a lot of the talent that are under contract with AEW got together when things started to go south. Like, it was sort of like the writing was on the wall that, okay, this isn't going to last very long. And they filmed a promo all together, going like making fun of TNA and going against them, which is funny because two of the people that were in that video are now back at TNA. And at the same time, too, not everybody who leaves the WWE is leaving on a bad note. Like, it's not like they've all been fired because of inappropriate or bad business. Like, it's okay, this just isn't working out. We didn't get the character. We did, whatever isn't working storyline wise. You go to TNA and okay, you're a success. That doesn't mean you should be blocked out of that experience. So there would still be a doorway. I think you're right. It would be a lot tighter of a doorway. And I think you're seeing some of the frustration of TNA, and maybe they're just working into the storyline of, well, what about us? We're the TNA people. Why isn't TNA being represented on the TNA NXT crossovers? It really feels like it's all the NXT people are sort of quote unquote getting the benefit. But that's been the smart business of the WWE. The WWE didn't make a comparison about the WWE to AEW. They made it NXT to AEW. And now they're working with TNA and they're making it TNA and then NXT. So they are sort of distancing that WWE is this wholly separate product that is on a pedestal much higher than the rest of everybody else. And in that way, they're doing it really smartly.
All you got to do is look at WWE's acquisition of AAA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. Now you got a WWE wrestler holding their top title.
Yeah.
And it's not long before AAA starts to like WWE Mexico.
Yeah. That is for sure. It's I swear to God, WWE just wants to bury everybody and take it all. They do. I'm sorry. I disagree. I disagree with Eric Bischoff when he said that he doesn't think that's what they're doing. I love Eric, but no, they want
their strategy for 4 decades.
Yeah, they want world domination. That's what they want. You know, Phil Stamper will get a WWE contract because that'll be the only place you can. All right, stick around, everybody. A whole lot more coming up on the Mark Hoke Show. I got a little controversy in TNA with one of the wrestlers, and somebody's going to be on TV. There can be only one. Stick around. We'll be right back.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. Chuck, how much do your loans really cost?
If you're a new customer, the first week's interest is on us. It's free to apply, and there are no other fees. We lend up to $5,000 in minutes, but let's use a $1,000 loan as an example. You could use an extra grand, right?
Always.
The interest on $1,000 is $5.50 per day. $500 costs $2.75 a day. You can do the math from there. Simple, transparent, and no added fees. The cool part is the earlier you pay it back, the less it costs. We only charge interest for how long you keep the loan out. 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, even up to a year. It's your call.
DLC lends up to $5,000 in minutes, and you can get your cash in person at one of our 70 locations, on our website, don'tbebroke.com, or even over the phone with one of our helpful, real staff members. You're going to love Dollar Loan Center.
Dude, did you order the new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I never looked so good. You look the same. But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me. You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever. With eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
For the first time ever, you can get all of ESPN in the new ESPN app, along with Disney Plus and Hulu, with one incredible offer. The most live sports, biggest blockbusters, and most talked about shows. Get it all in one bundle for $29.99 a month for 12 months. Visit Disney Plus Hulu ESPNBundle.com for details. Ad-supported plan auto renews at regular price. Currently $35.99 a month, subject to change. Unless canceled. Ends 1/5/26. Terms apply.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. We're keeping it rolling here on the Mark Hoke Show. It's the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment in the universe. You know, all the universes, every one of them. Because that's what we do. We just penetrate the dimensions with our talent. Like Phil Stamper, Trust and Phil, the president of wrestling at the Wrestling Revolver, and Stu Myrick out of Austin, Texas. Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, his great show that's also available on the Odyssey app.
The Austin, Texas.
No.
The University of Texas.
No, there's only one school that seems stupid enough to do that. The stuff. Ugh.
Stupid, sir. How
Yes.
dare you?
Yes, Ohio State sucks. Of course, I'm still a little bitter about Penn State's defeat yesterday, so don't get me started on that one. That was painful. Very painful. We have AEW has announced a new championship. The women's tag team titles are now in play. And unlike when WWE did it, I think they've got some teams in place ready to go. I think there's a really good potential for these belts. Stu, what do you think? The new AEW women's tag titles, and got any ideas on who you want to win?
It's one of those things, look, AEW has way too many titles. I get that, but the women's tag titles in AEW have been titles that people have been waiting for, so I'm happy for that. As far as the teams, you got Julia Hart and Sky Blue, you got Anna Jay and Ty Mello. There are a bunch. There's the AEW women's roster has quietly improved and improved and improved, and you see this talent that has come into there. It's going to be fun to watch this proceed. Who eventually becomes the women's tag champs in AEW, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Phil, I don't think it's going to be like what WWE did and just threw a bunch of single stars together. They've been laying the foundations for this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the teams that they assemble, I really do feel like they're going to function well as tag teams. And it's not just going to be, not to pick just picking names like Bailey and Sasha Banks, for example, or maybe who else did you have? Naomi and Mercedes and so many of this. It was just kind of like we threw two people together and they're a tag team.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be, I think this tag team division will be a little bit different in AEW.
You may have seen me smirk. And the reason for that smirk is one of the biggest conversations that I've heard out of this is, here comes Mercedes Moné. And her best friend Bailey keeps popping up backstage or allegedly backstage or up in the rafters taking photos and stuff. Wouldn't they be a great tag team for the women's? I've heard that so many times. I don't know anything about Bailey's contract. I don't know how much longer she's at WWE.
I think it's about a year. I think she's got about a year left.
So, I mean, a year's a year.
Yeah, it does take a lot, but I do think that there's a lot of potential for them. And I think it's good for the women in AEW too, because it is a pretty large group of women. And you've got some people sitting around that aren't doing a whole lot right now. Like, for example, Deonna Purrazzo has been on the shelf. We still haven't seen Britt Baker. Don't have any idea what she's doing out there. But then you got like Emi Sakura. Hikaru Shida has been away a little bit. Maybe put her with Rio or something like that. Camille's going to be back soon. There's a lot of interesting potential in terms of this women's division. I'll tell you one name that would be fun though. That's on the roster. Rachel Ellering. We need a female Road Warriors. That would be fun.
That'd be fantastic. Who would you put with Rachel though? I mean, I'm trying to think of
somebody who's one person that wouldn't be bad, and we know her here in Vegas very well, is Viva Van. She's an outstanding talent.
Yeah, but I don't think, is she contracted to AEW?
Yep. Yeah, they signed her.
Yes, okay.
You got a Jamie Hayter out there. Just running down the names that I've got. Billy Starks. I don't know about that one, but Camille's out there too. I mean, there's a lot of interesting possibilities.
Well, and they haven't used Camille, outside of that brief little, her being Monet's sidekick. They have not used her in the ring. Rachel and Camille could be fun. Billy Starks is going to be tied to Athena. We know that.
Yeah.
And by the way, we haven't seen Rachel in AEW. We've seen her in Ring of Honor, but we haven't really seen her in AEW. So that would be a lot of fun. I mean, her significant other Chris Hero working backstage as a producer and coach. So why not? I mean, I'm a huge fan of Rachel Ellering, going back to when she would come here for Wrestle Circus. Love Rachel to death, and I think she would be fantastic. I mean, pair her and Willow Nightingale.
Oh, there you go. That wouldn't be bad either.
Fun. That could be fun.
Phil, did we get your wheels turned on this?
I'm struggling, honestly. When you say Road Warriors, that gives a certain look, mystique.
Yeah,
feel.
I'm not sure I would do Road Warriors because that's. I mean.
But I see the direction you're heading in. So, like, if you put a Rachel Ellering there, there's a name that popped in my brain. I am not saying out loud.
Oh, come on!
Oh, I can't.
You can. Oh, yes, you can.
Lady from Texas. But I just, you know who actually would, and funny enough, she is from Texas, but it would not happen just because of where they're at. I could imagine. I could see Athena as a Road Warrior. I could totally see her decked out, and she would carry it well. At the same time, that's not where she is right now in her
no. I mean,
Megan Bain. Megan Bain's another one.
And Penelope Ford are together, so you figure that's going to be a tag team.
You could insert a personality into her, Megan too. That would be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or wrestling ability, less ego. Yeah, there's a lot I could say there.
Wow. Phil Stamper got the bus wheels rolling. Very nice. But yeah, but this is going to be a fascinating division, I think. And Tony will, unlike WWE, I think Tony will treat it right. So brace yourselves for the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship. Now, speaking of some of the ladies, we also had a controversy pop up here with, really a woman who's been considered one of the best female wrestlers on the planet, Masha Slamovich, who got accused of domestic abuse and at a pretty bad time too, because her contract's almost up in TNA. So this one's kind of a messy situation. And if one of my windows would load up right now, I could tell you the whole story, but a tough spot for Masha on this, Stu.
Yeah, and she did release a statement on social media, basically, calling it I think she called it a toxic relationship. She's taking time to kind of, get help and such. So, look, in situations like that, I don't want to speculate, because obviously I don't have any personal knowledge of anything like that. I hope that that both parties can come out better on the other side, with themselves, with their lives, and then let's see what happens as far as wrestling career goes.
Yeah, it involved her and Akira, and there's text messages, and it is a mess right now. But Phil, this is kind of rough for Masha. I mean, her career was on a serious upgrade, and now something like this pops up.
It is. The biggest thing that's honestly running through my mind right now is, and this is not to hide culpability when somebody's responsible for something. Don't post on social media about it. Like
Yeah.
what? Like I get that feeling because I'm there too about I feel like I need to say something. I want to say something about this thing. And it's like, no matter how well written it might be or might have been, or AI assisted you or whatever, because I have seen some of the messages on some of these Facebook groups about people and their thoughts about the response, that it was too crafted. Somebody took it to like an AI checker and was like, oh, this was totally written by AI. The rumors of who made her say it, that wasn't TNA. Like, maybe there was a need for a pause and then just like, not everything that happens needs to be out on social media. Like, it just doesn't. There, and at the same time too, it is very true that there are situations where sometimes people just aren't good together. And hey, if this was a toxic relationship on both sides, okay, let's move on. But I don't know if there is a moving on for Masha right now.
Yeah, so we'll see how that turns out. And then Gail Kim got herself in a little bit of hot water too, saying some stuff about Rio. When she looked like a very young girl in a frilly skirt, and the cameraman was up her ass. Just very hard for me to believe a little girl that was being portrayed of that size was fighting the women they had in that division, and everyone jumped on her for that. But I gotta say that for that last sentence, I kind of can see that point because she is really small. I mean, I remember when she was feuding with Nyla Rose at the start of AEW, I was kind of like, this doesn't look right. Just visually didn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
It had the feeling of, say, Rey Mysterio and JBL. So I've been lucky enough to be backstage at AEW. I've seen Rio up close, and yes, she is tiny. She is absolutely tiny. Speaking about that, probably not the smartest move because again, I point to Rey Mysterio. So it doesn't make sense that you would voice something like that. But again, someone says something on the internet and everybody glams on. That's the IWC in a nutshell.
Yeah, Gail's smart enough. I think I'm surprised she fell into that trap, Phil.
Again, you get that sense like I gotta say something. I want to say something, and at the same time, I don't want to say the line that was coming to my brain, but you put something out there, people are going to have a comment on it, good and bad. Like there isn't really here's my neutral statement, and because there is no then there's no neutral.
No,
well, you're not admitting enough. Like you need to be more affirmative. That was too firm of a stance. This wasn't too firm of a stance. So no matter what you put out there, you're going to get criticism. So that's the first part of it. Like just eat it. Like, if you put it out there, it's going to be taken. Years ago, because I work in higher education, I think I've shared that on here before. And I was working with a group of students, and I had this conversation because it was in the burgeoning days of social media. And I was like, don't put anything out there that you don't want to see on the front page of the Washington Post.
Very good point.
If your tweet, your post, like if you don't want to see that covered nationally, why would you ever put it out there? Do you want your grandmother to see that? Like think of it in that respect.
My grandma would have loved to have seen a lot of my posts. She'd have been very proud.
That's fair.
Yeah, my grandma was pretty awesome. But anyway, all right. Before we go to break, got to make sure that I mention my good friend Pat Casal at the Multicare Group. After all this crazy stuff going on, everybody's going to need some health insurance, life insurance, especially if you're a pro wrestler like Phil Stamper, who, gets stabbed and beat up and thrown around, you may need a little help. And Pat Casal, no matter where you are in the United States, can help you out, takes care of your health insurance, life insurance needs. He can also help your company out with employee benefits. Fantastic guy. I've known him for years. He's a staple in the Las Vegas community. And so these guys out there that need a little help with, we see so many bad injuries in pro wrestling, man, Pat's going to take care of you. He'll make sure he gets you a good policy. So give him a call, 702-286-1014, 702-286-1014. That is his personal line where you can reach Pat and promise you he's going to take great care of you through the Multicare Group. So once again, give Pat Casal a call. 702-286-1014. All right. We have one more segment to go with the mighty Phil Stamper, the amazing Stu Myrick, and the ultimate radio hero, Mark Hoke. What can I say? Stick around, everybody.
You
guys are funny. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
It's Ash from Sam and Ash Injury Law. Did you know teen drivers are more likely to crash than any other age group? That's why we're doing our Prevent the Crash with Sam and Ash Safe Teen Driving Essay Contest. Students can enter to win a 2025 Volkswagen Jetta, $5,000 in scholarships, and more just by sharing what safe driving means to them. Visit samandashlaw.com/safe driving and enter by October 31st.
Time to level up with the all-new Terribles Plus Rewards app. Why would you settle for one of those ordinary rewards programs? Terribles Plus rewards you on every routine purchase at the pump and in-store. But we also offer promotions like Game Day Giveaway, Terribles Tuesday, and Shop, Spin, and Win. So download the all-new Terribles Plus Rewards app and get your routine purchases rewarded deliberately different. Terribles Plus Rewards is available on Google Play and the iPhone App Store. Visit Terribles.com for details.
Lowe's knows how to help make your home holiday ready for less. Get Select Style Selections vinyl flooring for just $1.99 per square foot and have it installed before the festivities begin. Our team can help you every step of the way. See a Lowe's Red Vest associate or visit Lowe's.com/holiday install to get started. Lowe's, we help, you save. Basic install only. Date restrictions apply. Subject to availability. Installed by independent contractors. See associate for details. Contiguous U.S. only.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses. And enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, we're back for the final segment of the Mark Hoke Show. I just got a giggle out of something in our private chat.
Nothing happened.
Phil Stamper is a bad human being. Funny guy.
Didn't see anything.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget, if you want to make some bets on pro wrestling, or you can even bet on handball, darts, cricket, but mostly today, football. You can go to markhokeshow.com and click on the Bet Online AG banner. You are going to get a terrific bonus when you put in the code BOL1000 on betonline.ag. It's a 50% matching bonus up to $1,000, which means you can get $500 added to your account. It's pretty cool. And right now there are betting odds up for Crown Jewel already. John Cena is a -1,000 against AJ Styles +550, and Cody Rhodes a +300. He is not the betting favorite against Seth Rollins, who is a -500 at Crown Jewel Perth. So if you want to get on all the action on betonline.ag, where you can also bet on entertainment and politics, even snooker, go to markhokeshow.com, click on the betonline.ag banner, put in the code BOL1000, and you're all good. So there you go. And let's see. Bear with me for a second, guys.
I don't know why snooker just broke me, by the way.
Isn't that great? You bet on snooker.
Really? What would a bet on snooker look like?
Well, I can tell you, I got the website open. I got a second here. Let's look at snooker here. The UK Championship. You have odds to win it right now for the 2025 UK Championship. The betting favorite. Wow, these are all plus on. Let's see. Hang on a second. It says show more. Oh, there they are. Holy cow! They have got about 30 people listed on there, and your betting favorite among them is Judd Trump at plus 350. So you're getting positive money on all these bets. That's not bad.
All right, sure.
So fire away. BetOnline.ag. Want to wish Piper Niven all the best. Not sure what's up with her. You guys heard anything about her state there? Is saying that she could have a potentially career-threatening injury.
Yeah, I've heard it's possibly. I don't want to speculate. It's rumored she is injured. There is some speculation. I'm not going to go into that, but just want her to have a full and speedy recovery. She is a wonderful part of the Secret Hervis.
Yes, we love Piper. We really do. So best of luck to her. We also got an announcement, and I am thrilled about this because I have been such a Highlander fan for so very long. Drew McIntyre has been cast in the new Highlander show that's coming up, and he's going to be playing McLeod's brother. That is going to be awesome. He will be beside Henry Cavill. Phil Stamper, I know you're a little bit of a geek there. How awesome is it that Drew McIntyre is going to be featured in the new Highlander series?
When I saw that, my brain went blink, blink, blink. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it'll be cool to see him. I'm looking forward to the new Highlander. Is it a series or a movie?
I thought it was a series. I mean, I could be wrong. I lost that.
I think it is being produced by Amazon. So then again, that doesn't stop either. So either could be true.
Yeah, bear with me. I have a window. I have so many windows open. This is ridiculous. There it is. Actually, it's the same movie. Sorry. Headline says movie.
I wasn't sure. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think it's awesome. I think it's really awesome.
Yeah. And no better guy to be in a Highlander series. But I just want to remind Drew, there can be only one. And that means you and Henry Cavill at some point could end up fighting it out for the ultimate prize. So be careful, Drew. Watch your head. God, I love Highlander. Can you tell? I love that. I love the movies in the show. So underrated.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, fantastic. So congratulations to our good friend Drew McIntyre, which means he'll be taking more time off too. Oh my God. Yeah, what a week in wrestling, guys. Just a ton of stuff that happened outside of the ring. Absolutely incredible. Stu, what was your favorite story this week?
Let's see. Favorite story this week. I'm trying.
I can tell it wasn't Brock Lesnar.
No, he was not. I honestly, the reunion of Jurassic Express. That's probably my favorite. I enjoyed seeing Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Luchasaurus together. I'm looking forward to seeing them again. So I will say the most intriguing one. So with Daniel Garcia now in the Death Riders, this split with him and Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, I find that intriguing, and it's I think that could be like an underlying story with that could be something fun to watch.
I want Matt Menard to get a push. I love that guy.
Oh yeah,
he's got charisma like you wouldn't believe, and he's good in the ring too. I mean, I think people have kind of forgotten that, Phil, that Daddy Magic can wrestle.
Yeah. I'd be happy to see it. But at the same time, like, they've been doing great on commentary.
Yeah.
I thought, like, the voice they add, I think is cool. And so just to take that away, I'm like, oh, I'm going to miss that. But at the same time, I completely understand.
Yeah.
You want to be in the ring and in front of a camera. Totally do it. Do it all you can.
By the way, I'm enjoying Bryan Danielson on commentary.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going to tell you what, he's going to get the bug doing that though. He's going to get the bug to get back in the ring. You could tell at the pay-per-view that he was just getting too excited.
Well, and I think there's opportunities. It won't be, he's not going to be a full-time wrestler by any stretch, but I think, a one-off every now and again, why not? I would say I don't know if I'd include him if they do another like multi-man stipulation match, like, Blood and Guts or something like that, but definitely something involving the Death Riders. I'd definitely put him in. Why not?
There you go. By the way, Cordell Campbell in the chat box says Piper Nevin's Nick is injured. Easy for me to say.
That's the report.
So that's the rumor. So.
Yeah, that's the report, and whatever it is, like I said, full and speedy recovery.
We'll see how she does. By the way, I want to give a quick shout out to my good friends at Dr. Auto, who tried to help me with my car that is now gone, but they did a good job for a while and really took care of me. They're up on North Craig Road, or West Craig Road. So if you want to check them out, guys, very trustworthy mechanics, and they're hard to find in Las Vegas. Trust me. So give my friend Ed at Dr. Auto a call if you need any service. That's going to do it. We'll see you guys next week. Phil Stamper from the Wrestling Revolver. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Check out his show, and check out the Wrestling Revolver too. They do some pretty darn good stuff, even when Phil's in the ring.
This Friday in Ohio, live on Triller TV.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
If you're